Sanbonani, Rialocha, Dumelang, and welcome to yet another episode of Daily Thetha. Hona mo gae mo SABC 1, Mzansi for sure. La tseba gore every Monday to Thursday ka 11 a.m. re tla be re na le lena re atlha taba tse leng gore di affecta baso mo South Africa. La tseba gore re ka seleshi. So welcome to the show. Nakalina ke nna Tumelo se tlogolo sa mathomo sa ga Mothotoane. O ntse ka gano mpotsa.
Nkosiyami.
Mara Kini.
Bakithi. Nami ngiyathanda phela ukuzoshoka malami. Ekabala ku Kini Shandu sanibukela ku Daily Thetha on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Njobe seshilo Tumelo. Namhlanje sobe sinabantu abasivakashele and futhi nawe lapho sekhaya uzoba nenhlanhla ukuthi uthole ithuba lokuthi uhlomule ngetopic esikhuluma ngalo namhlanje.
Of course, we going to learn about the student hustlers. Let's about they're studying, they can't afford the fees. They're trying to help out Kogai and well, today we have a very inspiring show for Lena because they've made things happen against all odds. It's very exciting. So without any further ado, let's go social media. We are hip and happening on Facebook and Twitter. No, Daily Thetha.
Every day. Daily
Thetha. So Daily Thetha underscore SABC 1 more Instagram and Daily underscore Thetha Kirenamo Twitter and Facebook. So without any further ado, Arkopaneng le arcade. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Well, I mean, look, Dr. Pamela Zulu, you're a life coach and entrepreneur. And of course, we Tumelo, we fiko wena wa My Growth Fund. You are the MD and founder.
Yes.
Welcome. And also welcome to you guys. Welcome to the show. Let's start with Dr. Pamela Zulu. I mean, you have an amazing story. How did you start a business at such a tender age?
Well, I didn't start with a salon. At 13, I started as a jewelry.
Oh, is it?
Okay, let me start by saying my mother was a fashion designer.
Yes. Okay.
Dressmaker.
Oh, yeah.
And so, because my father was a traditional man, so my mother had to do something. Anyway, I am a rubber starter, I used to accompany her. So, and I would be fascinated by these different shapes and, you know, colors of earrings. So, I butterfly, I was fascinated and I decided, and it was cheap. I mean, you buy a pack for very cheap. So I decided one day, let me experiment. I bought a pack, took it to school. I started becoming the, you know, the most notorious.
Yeah.
Because every week I would tempt these girls, they would buy from me obviously. And the principal would confiscate my stock every time, but the more, you know, the more they confiscate, the more the demand.
Yes, the more you push.
You know, the supply and demand situation. Yeah, now I started getting used to making money. But I think doing happy started because my mother used to use me as an administrator. So we would sit down when Papa would bring in the salary and then Mama would, and I would watch her most and everything. So I started becoming curious. I know, may her soul rest in peace, she's late now. Because she was the financial whatever manager. Well, I know this is not our place. But when I started getting used to making money, at the age of 16, I heard of Dallas Hair Academy. And the permanent settings designer. So one of my December holidays, after writing the exam at grade 7, I asked my mom to take me to this hair. I find out information here on
about a hair salon,
hairdressing academy. Then I went to Dallas Hair Academy. At that time, it was the first of its kind in the.
And that's how you got into the.
And I went for a 3 weeks course during my school holidays.
Okay,
yes.
All right. Well, let's ask Tumelo because we're now Udilaka My Growth Fund. You actually assist the entrepreneurs with regards to funding. Tell us about the niche market before you actually started this company.
Yes. So how we started is that I've got a corporate background, so I'm a CA by profession. And as soon as I qualified, I moved into big corporate. And as I was in big corporate, I realized that I was actually fueling the problem, which is, for me, the problem is that there's a huge gap between small business and big business, right? And how do we bridge that gap? And what I realized is that by being in corporate, I'm actually assisting big corporates get bigger, but the small guys, which are running businesses, tend to fail. and they don't understand why.
Into ngiyazi lapho iTumelo ukuthi ena mawusubheka njengamanje amabhizinisi amancane amaningi vele ukuthi there is a common mistake eyenzakalayo. Iyiphi leyo mistake kwabaningi especially laba sobesesikoleni as well or just umuntu ezenzela nje business like as umuntu omncane?
So I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'd say the most common mistake that I see is that entrepreneurs handle their business as if they live off the company's bank account. So they can't separate themselves from the business. You know, the minute you do that, once you start living off your company's bank account, then you won't have enough capital to reinvest in your business. And that's the reason a lot of them fail.
Yeah. And for when you know, Dr. Zulu, as known into, you know, this life of an entrepreneur, I understand no so balance lead buka. No balance because I mean I'm sure there's a student somewhere or a mining engineer, a medicine a student or because scholarly demanding, but at the same time entrepreneurship seems to be one of the solutions body promoter so much in the country.
Well, I used to try. My family, the support system came from my parents. My mom and my dad, when he realized I was into this business, salon, he's the first one who went to Minute Print in those days to make me business cards. So he used to do most of the administration. And the salon was very successful at the time. I think a couple 85, 86, I used to make about 500 rands a day.
That was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money. So my mom, sometimes they would feed me, kinsekili busy. She would be, I think, suppose system in it, I did skills, financial management skills. They would coach me. Once they saw that I'm interested in this, they helped me with those. But I would say to the question I was just saying, now personally, I feel, you know, a lot of young people, when they go into business, they're only thinking about making money and it's about profit. They're only thinking profit. But sometimes you just go into a business when you have not done enough research. I think skills are very important, skills development. Like I told you, I had to go and do, I was interested in doing hair, you know, Ben and Betty,
Street baking.
Those, but I saw the need to go and study. So I took those 3 weeks, study holidays, to go and empower myself. Skill development, you are more confident in what you do.
In thinking about Pamela, ungathini about family? Do you think ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi family yakhe support kakhulu business because mangithi ngiyakulalela indlela okhuluma kakhulukazi ngiyathola ukuthi family yakhe iyona ebikusiza kakhulu especially umama wakho?
It is very important that the family sees because at that time I didn't have it means zokuba ne staff, but my mother was a staff member, even though it was not, because she would prepare the clients mangekho ngisayo stoka abafaka ama step 1 mangifiphi na sengishanga ama rolls yabona into ezinjalo.
It's interesting to know we check out about skills for important and their support system, but it makes me wonder with Tumelo gore really fana ka chelete. Is that analysis and assessment or it's not just about chelete, it's about do you have enough skills, it's about do you have enough background and support and the wisdom to manage this business?
Yes, absolutely. So skills, I mean, are a very important part of building a successful business. And another thing, so our business, we take it a step further. So we realize that there's entrepreneurs that have good business models, but the only issue is that they don't know how to grow their businesses. Hence my growth fund. So we help them develop their business. We come in the business, we don't just invest in businesses. So we actually nurture them and help them refine their skills.
I think it's very interesting. Really, the name of the company, My Growth Fund, not just my fund, but there's also like a growth element incorporated. Interesting.
Cool. And imali ngana now ngikwazi ukuthi funding ayiyotha khona. Just nje oskele phezulu because I'm sure wonke umuntu uzofuna ukukulandela njengamanje Tumelo amboy Tumelo ngifuna ukukulandela I want to find out more. Imi kanjani in terms of ama funds now?
Yes, so our fund is 140 million, and we've got investments in we've got about 40 investments around there, and we're looking for more businesses to fund. So we're always actively in the market. The thing you need to realize is that the funding is there. So entrepreneurs are complaining about there's no funding, but the funding is there. But it only follows good businesses.
Petty man.
Interesting.
Usalibekele yona idaily chat on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Njengobuza sinama guest wethu bayeza nabanye, so stick around. Kuningi usazokuzuza kulolu hlelo namhlanje.
Well, what's about Daily Thetha right here on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Re bolela ka di student hustlers. Bana ba leng gore ba phethe mali. Ge ba kena sekolong aba butse libuka fela. Ba ke bana ba leng gore ba focused. Sa bona se duma fela ba thoda di chelete but they want to have sustainable solutions to all the problems je leng gore ba di bona into the country. So I'm very excited about this guy Kini. It's going to be an amazing show because akoro kwele bo itumela re gona le chelete. The funding is there. It's just about entrepreneurs coming through.
Iningi kanjani le mali yakho?
Yeah.
Njenga manje sesinelo kahla ho siyakumukela baba ne. All right. Wazwa ngathulele nje vuka. Vuka ukhuluma nawe. Ukhuluma ngawe. You know kahla ngifuna ukwazi wena ibusiness lakho ukuthi lona ulenza kanjani nanokuthi how do you balance ukuthi usesikoleni nesikhathi sokufunda usithola kuphi?
Okay, so I've graduated, but the business started whilst I was in my first year of varsity in entertainment. So we host the homecoming picnic and homecoming events company.
I see.
And the honest answer is prioritization, you know, and understanding that even if Mothotoane chele, that you don't have to let that distract you from your main goal because education can always complement your entrepreneurial hustle. So it was a deliberate decision to always make sure that you make time for both the studies and the business at the same time.
Marakatako, you make it sound so easy. Bana ba bantshwa ba leng gore they're trying to start businesses are not taken seriously. I'm sure when there was a point more by no nyaka the sponsors for homecoming, but o tseba ngwana ka business. O sala ngwana e ya sekolong. What would you say to bana ba leng gore I mean they find it very difficult to convince the sponsors or to convince potential stakeholders ka gore abana experience ya business, abana experience ya corporate?
I'd really encourage them to be patient with the process because it takes time. You know, everybody wants. I've got a big idea. I've got a great idea. I want to implement it today. Everybody should buy into it, and that's not how the world works. People buy into your effort, and they buy into how much you've invested into what you are doing. So don't despise the days of little beginnings. Start small and convince your core base, and let that base grow into a bigger base until the bigger corporates and everybody that you're trying to get or to reach out to acknowledges your work. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen eventually.
Homecoming, my color, I'm sure it was an idea. Wawuna ilokuzana mhlapho ucabanga ukuthi izohamba igcine silento yona njengamanje because we've seen so many homecoming coming after yours. Wakuyinto vele oyibona that this is it or now
I mean, initially it was really just that a homecoming, got these school holidays at university where all the friends were coming home and we're literally having a picnic for 20 people. But when the demand grew and started seeing celebrities attending, we said, look, here's a business opportunity. And when we did the first one and we made money, you know, for a change, you're able to say, you don't have to send me money. Then you say, okay, actually, there's actually something here. We can do something with this.
And Dr. Pamela, I mean, enterprise development. You deal, develop the enterprises on a daily basis, part of your core business as a businesswoman. And I think sometimes the mistakes young entrepreneurs also understand what's important. Documenting, having legal documents, making sure you are tax registered, making sure you've got all the necessary certificates to complement your business profile. How many do you think young entrepreneurs still need language or all the legalities are still important as part of enterprise development?
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done in that area. I was listening to him as he was speaking. Your business is not a business or informal business until you register it, until you have a tax SARS certificate and all those. And financials, they're very important that you keep because I should think we need to have a record. The first 2 years of a business life is very crucial. How you because they start, even the financial institutions, they start trusting you after 2 years. How you kept your finances, how you record everything. But most of the young people, when they start business, I think it's because most of them start it from a hobby point of view. It's just me, myself, trying to make money. But if you begin to take yourself very serious and take your enterprise seriously and make sure that whatever you do, you record. I think the other important stuff, be very careful. How was that? Then o start to waste, live a wasteful life, and then Oscar Catalan credit rating. The channel 30 hona the organization as business development, and networking forum. This is where we
The
develop.
important the platforms, Jone. They're very important to associate yourself with those platforms.
Boy, ngifuna ukwazi lento le Tumelo ukuthi ena mawubheka kahle indaba ye passion. Abanye abantu they start a business space ukuthi into ayithandayo. Would you advise that you go for passion or go for something that oyibona as a future? Because I can just do events because I love going attend my events, ngibe sinama club events. Kanjalo. Yiphi into unga-advise la kuko especially to youth ukuthi which one should I go for?
I think that's a tricky one because sometimes as an entrepreneur, you follow the opportunity rather than the passion. So passion always follows a good opportunity because you find that you're not really interested in something. You start it up anyway because you've seen the opportunity. And as you develop your idea and as you get into it, you start loving what you do. So it's easy to fall in love with something. Whereas, you know, you get some people that are lucky, that start businesses that where their passion lies. That happens, I mean, very seldomly, but if it does happen, then you're in a perfect spot.
I mean, also speaking of passion, a wise businessman, Andy Lukumal, I'm sure you're very familiar with him. He's South African. He once mentioned, do not be too quick, you know, to get your hand in everything. You know, sort of intensify what you have and not be too quick to diversify. And Katlawana wouldn't share your clear example because you studied LLB or UP, and then after that, I mean, you went on to do your homecoming picnic while Ulukoskolong, and now you also sort of have your own entertainment law consulting, you know, company, or you manage some celebrities. When did you think it was the right time to intensify and not be too quick with and everything and then not make money at the same time?
I mean, it's always important to balance your passion with being pragmatic. So I knew that I had to finish my LLB in order to be able to understand the corporate environment. I had to go do my articles to understand the corporate world and how things operate outside there. And only after doing my articles and working in a formal law firm could I then start consulting with...
after that experience.
After that experience, because also you don't want to sort of rush ahead of yourself and you find yourself selling your clients short and selling yourself short in turn, because you could have a great product, but if you're not well groomed or you're not prepared, you haven't sort of edified yourself enough, then you end up killing everything just because you're not where you need to be.
So when preparation meets opportunity, you have a success story.
100%.
Alrighty then.
So we're Daily Thetha on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. We are on Facebook, Twitter as well. #Daily Thetha. And asihambeni ke manje siyozo abanye aba students nawo ukuthi kunjani ngempela ukuba student ekubeni ubosakwazi futhi ukwenze umsebenzi wakhe eceleni. Zibalansiswa kanjani into njengalezo? Asibone ukuthi kuhambe kanjani.
My name is Allegro Dinkonyane. I'm the founder and CEO of Ogela Media. I've always known that I'm going to run my own media company because I grew up being inspired by women such as Oprah and Kini and Basitsana Kumalo that run their own media empires. I was born in Polokwane but raised in Pretoria, so it was my first time ever coming to Joburg to study, and I came here with the intention to just go after my dreams. I wasn't going to waste any time. I remember during orientation week, and our lecturers would ask us, what are you going to do as an extramural activity? Because as a first year, it was mandatory that you did something extra, like some sort of sport or activity. And I looked around and I thought, well, I'm not going to do any hockey, any swimming, any netball, none of that stuff. And I was lucky enough, when I was walking around campus, I saw a poster saying there's UJFM auditions. And this was me as a 19-year-old at UJ. And I've never been on radio in my life. I thought, well, it's in the media space. This is my chance. And I went, I auditioned, I got the job. And from first year, I was a radio presenter at UJFM, turned producer, did my own shows from graveyard, moved all the way to afternoon drive time. And I interned at so many different publications, even when I knew that I don't really love print, but I wrote for, I remember Campus Life Unlimited magazine, which is Clue magazine. I wrote for the UJ newspaper, the UJ Observer. I did anything and everything just to get the experience. My my breakthrough really came in third year when we finally did the module that I was waiting for in journalism, and that was broadcast and online journalism. And we were given an assignment to do a mock-up blog. And back then, blogging was still new, you know. We only heard of bloggers in America and the UK that actually made like 6 figures a year. And in South Africa, in Africa, it was almost like it's just a hobby. It's just something people go online and they write stuff. After a while, they give up on the blog, they're not consistent. So I took it very seriously and I came up with the blog called Ogela Entertainment as an assignment. And I don't know what happened, but in 3 months we had like 1.1 million hits, and this is the number of people that were logging in on a daily, reading the blog and the stories. I was like, okay, this is growing faster than I expected, and I was alone working on the blog. I didn't have any freelance writers helping me. So now here I am juggling school and making sure that the blog stays alive with stories every day, because you know, in the celebrity world and in entertainment, there's always something happening and you need to be the first or one of the first to break the stories. Initially, the income generated on the blog was literally close to zero because there were no advertisers. That's how you generate income on a blog. You provide the numbers and then advertisers come running. You know, brands can say, okay, I want to advertise on your site for a week. How much is it? And by that time, I was still studying the online journalism space, and I didn't really understand how to even, you know, price the advertising on my site, the numbers. You know, I was overwhelmed by the number of people that were visiting the blog, and I couldn't equate it into figures and say, okay, well, I have 1.1 million hits in 3 months, this is how much you should pay me. But my first big client came in 2012 March, and that was Avon Cosmetics. They actually came across the blog somehow. They loved it, they contacted me, and they started running competitions on my website. And that was roughly, I mean, we're talking about 15 to 20,000 Rand a month advertising. And I was like, yo, I could do this, you know, all my life.
On Daily Thetha on SABC 1, Nakalina ke Tumelo setogolo sa mathomo sa ga Mothotoane, and today re bolela ka di student hustlers. Bana ba leng gore a ba tlo dula morago ba blame system, ba na re nna mara ke foi dog. No. I have to also get into the system and make sure that I come up with viable solutions, sustainable solutions for what is happening and that's going wrong in our country. Well, la tseba gore daily_Thetha on Facebook and Twitter are our handles, and of course on Instagram, Daily Thetha_SABC1.
Sibukele abahambeli bethu banamhlanje sanibukela ngithanda ukuthi ngiqale kwena manthako sabona mama uyaphila.
Ngiyaphila na phela njani?
Ngikhona ngibize kahle igama lakho.
Ulibiza hayi kabuta.
Bina kuhlula ukubiza. Thaphela ukrani baba.
Amnandi wena.
Simnandi kakhulu phela. Guys, can you this challenge I'm busy so nenzani?
Well, I make wigs and I sell them.
Mapone.
Sorry?
Now?
One of them is this one.
I could have thought that was your hair.
No way. This is one of them.
Perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
This is one of them. I make wigs and then I sell them to the public.
Oh, okay. What an interesting business.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think I need one. Maybe hek batla ho. Achme hare. But when on the other hand, uking kotin, kya wana hore Ricky has got nothing on you. Neke compliment during the ad break that our nahanele as the presenter so since rebenyana one level up. But Tumelo, welcome to the show. You are a fashion stylist. I understand. You're also a student. Textbooks ko. How do you do it?
It's a matter of priority, as one of our guests said. It's a matter of priority, balancing between school and business, and not letting money overrule you, because you're there for education first.
Yeah.
So I started my business a year ago. It's fair to say that I'm still new in the fashion business.
Okay.
So, but thank you for the compliment. I had to dress up, and because people, when they see you, it's not the personality that they see first. So I had to.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing I do is at TP Styles, we focus on making sure that we create that self-image that gives you confidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also it involves wardrobe remaking, personal shopping, styling for specific events, graduations, high school matric dances.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I think what's interesting with your business model, you're a student, you're an entrepreneur, and oboni a market within your environment and community of the students. I mean, what actually textbooks, that's a niche market. Who style about for the graduation, because we all know graduation is the matric dance of varsity.
Yes.
So you have to look good, your final night. So I mean, you found a niche market in your surrounding. I mean, that's just amazing. How did you think of that?
I always, because I'm that one person at school, I'm a people's person.
Yeah.
So I'd see how my friends would cry about how I dress up, and they want something special for their graduations. So I took it upon myself to be like, let me have a target market that's around me.
Yeah.
That's my environment that I can relate to. What do they need currently?
But still on that because of ngamula. Awucabanga ukuthi umuntu ufila offended mawufuna umthethe ngicela ukugqokisa. Like nje approach kanjani umuntu olinda abantu beza kuwena.
Nanga sibe offended.
Athi ukuthi lento igqokela ngiyithola. So awubi naleyo nkinga.
Now I don't actually, because I run the business in the 21st century. Yeah. We all know that digital media is the way to go. So people get me through my social media pages, and then how I dress is sometimes I look at people's personalities. We have different personalities.
Yeah. Sure.
I can't dress you, for example, you dark skin. Yeah. I can't dress you. Basically, let's say you have too much melanin in the modern way. So I have to combine those factors. Yeah. For your attire to fit you.
And Mantako Wena, I mean, what people don't understand, or rather not know about you, interesting, or you're also a master's chemistry student at Kovis University. So you find, a young woman is studying such a very intense course, but at the same time, Udizana, your own natural hair wigs in an industry whereby it's the weaves Brazilian, the Indian remis that are in fashion. Or identify that niche market?
Honestly, mine started as I was starting dreadlocks. So starting dreadlocks, my loctician advised me, do not put anything. They're going to tell you, go for weaves. Don't put anything. And I'm like, I
get
really
that all the time. I know you get that.
I really love my natural hair, and it went on research. I went and I bought hair, bought wig, and I researched about it, and this came out.
And when's the client like
It was my colleague on campus.
Oh, wow.
So he's sitting in the office, typing, researching. I was still doing my research, not writing up. And she's like, I like your hair. And I'm like, I made it myself. She's like, I want it. I'm like, you can have it. Let's speak about the price. And that's how my first client came about.
One price I Why is it your price?
I look at how much I made the wig from, the time that it took me, and I was like, there's your price.
I
Labor
like the
and the cost of the hair and everything.
And I like the fact that you sort of owned some, the value chain. That
is the best part about it, because even as a client comes to me, then they tell me this is what I want. And I do exactly what you want. If you don't like it, and sometimes I won't say I know how to do everything.
Right.
I give them a chance. Let me say I'll do it for myself, and if it goes right, then I can sell it to you.
And Tumelo, what are some of the challenges, briefly before I go at breaking, of starting a business, or skolong or hustler?
One of the most common challenges we face as entrepreneurs at school, it's time. If I feel like if you don't know how to use your time, that's the most key part you're gonna fall off. So and we need to know that it starts in the mind, because as young people we focus on what goes on from the neck downwards, forgetting that it all starts in the mind. And if you're not mentally prepared, then you won't be physically prepared. So it also starts in the mind. So the challenge here, it's time, and you need to know how to set up your time priorities, basically.
So not important, Kini.
It's very
is that we business like ham. I think that na corner glock kukunikeza my clients nje ukuthi say ngicela ungenze ngicela ungisethe ngibe njengawe.
Yes. I'm a business working. Even though one of the challenges you'd find is peer pressure. Be like, dude, you deserve to have a car now. They don't know that I'm actually marketing myself, because I get clients when I go to specific events.
I see.
And then we be like, dude, do you style people? What's happening to you? I need this suit. That's where I come in. I give you my business card, and then you talk business from there. And obviously we include our specific designers, whereby we design those kind of suits you need. So because my style, it's basically that Italian style where it gives you details. Classic man, basically.
I know how to classic man, then I know exactly what it's talking about. Kina Tapelo, of course, a fashion stylist by King Kotini. I think Rikirik needs to know there's a new kid on the block. But you know what, speaking of Batwalo starting by hustler, are going about Towang Bona, Barnaga Nainka hustling, and is it something viable? Let's find out.
It might interrupt your studies while you're trying to find the money to pay for your studies.
The problem with our society is that sometimes, right now specifically, is we're pushing more students going to school, and it's saturating our market, and more kids find themselves unemployed. Now, as a student hustler, you have an option, you have something to fall back on, and something which could make you income regardless of the circumstances of our economy.
I figure they're starting to achieve a more financially independent life. I mean, as a student hustler, you have to learn how to do things yourself.
Once you know the struggles of life and what everyone else goes through, then you'll know what impact you need to make as a person after your studies.
Student hustlers stand to gain success and knowledge.
Student hustlers later in their life, they achieve backup in life because of they following their career and they're hustling aside.
They're more experienced. When you have qualifications but you don't have experience, it later affects you in life. So I feel they both have experience and a qualification that's going to carry them through life.
Student hustlers stand to gain later in their lives a chance to experience freedom, I think, because like the more you hustle, the more you get. But I guess there's a line because sometimes you might sell your life.
Sinibingelele futhi sinamukele kwi-Daily Thetha no-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Sisatheni nama-student hustlers akhona la. Sifuna ukuthola kabanzi ukuthi ngempela kunjani ukubalansisa impilo ukuthi ube student and uphinde usebenze as well. Namhlanje sesihlala sondela eceleni kwengane. Wahlala kude kangaka.
I'm very excited, Tami, because this is more like a reunion thing. I remember the last time we meet, you were on a debate show, One Day Leader, talking about solutions, telling what you feel young people can take control of to offer sustainable, solutions. And here you are, Varsity Digs.
Sure.
Take me through it, guys. Busi, also welcome to you as well. I know you're a co-founder. Varsity Digs, the website. Tell me more about it and how did this amazing idea come about?
Should I go? Okay.
Yes, please.
So basically what it is the website that students and landlords can use to transact. And we created it because of the student housing crisis that we saw looming in 2016, 2015. I was at UCT doing my BCom, and there was a whole hullabaloo about students saying, well, we didn't get res, so what's supposed to happen to us? At the same time, you have these landlords who have properties but don't know how to reach students in a convenient and cheap way. So we said, let's create a marketplace where these two players meet and transact, and Varsity Digs was born.
Sure. So, are you guys making money though?
Right, so right now we're in our trial period, right? So for the remainder of the year, we're not making any money. In fact, this is because we want to create some traction for ourselves, right? I think, it was mentioned before that we need some patience before we actually come to a place where we're making money. So we're assessing ourselves in the market. We're also giving value for the landlords as well. Because we reckon the best way to charge is to have landlords pay a monthly rental fee. So we're like, before we even do that, let's actually give them some value. Let's get students on the platform. Let's get them on the platform. Let it get traction. Let it blow first. Same thing that happened with Google and Facebook. Those things, they didn't make money for the first 3 or 4 years, right? But by the time they grew, by the time they blew, they made millions. And it's because the market said yes. And that's what we want that validation over the next few months.
You know, about not making money for the first year, your business, a lot of sacrifice, business. And sometimes one of the glitz and glam your business, it's instant, success. La prova there's a lot of sacrifice. Tami, I didn't know this. And I don't know how I feel about it, but I just recently found out you actually deregistered from scholarship Sagago. And actually, when I think of it, I don't know if I should be sad or crying or happy. Because I Bill Gates, let out drop out. Mark Zuckerberg drop out. So sometimes sacrifice, is it because of sacrifice for the business that you took that decision? Not only opportunity as scholarship.
Yeah, so it's both of us actually. She also left school.
Boosie.
In second semester.
Wow.
Look, so you see, it's about how does, school revolve around the work that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you see the business itself, you see it as the beginning and the end of what you're doing, right? And I think we started to look at our businesses as something that can actually not only make an income for us, but make a serious impact. And we're like, sometimes maybe it's okay for us to look at a situation where the school revolves around our businesses as opposed to the business revolving around the school itself, you know what I mean? So we reprioritized everything, not necessarily left school, but I think we reprioritized it.
In terms of Tami, ngoba nisebenza nobabili and niyafunda at the same time. Where do you guys get isikhathi sokuthi nifunde? because angazi noma ilona business elilodwa nilenzayo noma namanye amabhizinisi akhona futhi.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's more than one actually. Varsity Digs is something that we started doing from September, and we only put it online literally in November. So all the viral network effects, Isis Bonayo, literally have been from November. But before then, we're running something called Simung, which started immediately after Tammy left One Day Leader. So obviously, people who know Tammy know he's a debater, he's a public speaker. I'm a public speaker, big in student leadership and student governance. We came together and were like, how do we teach our peers and kids who are younger than us how to debate, how to do public speaking, how to lead, as a way of building capacity beyond just I know maths and I know science. How do you represent yourself in the bigger space of things in the corporate world? And we said, okay, let's find corporate partners who can fund it, and we provide the skill. So Simung is literally that, and Simung has been growing in such a way that we had to reprioritize academics and say, I need to pause and start again. But I mean, Tammy is doing part-time this year, for instance. I'm only going to do second semester. So you make difficult decisions, but you have to make them, because once you have a client, there's no turning back. Once you go and you speak to a client and you say, be my corporate partner on this project, and they put 150,000 Rand, 200,000 Rand, there's no going back.
And you know, I want to ask you something. Go na le ko dikolong, go na le di friendships, go na le di scheme, go na le di lovers, you know, as well ko campusing. So for the lovers, the friendships, how can we make sure partnership turns to money as part of hustling? Just putting it out there.
Oh man. All right, so look, I think it's collinear visions, right? So Busi and I, not only business partners, we're also dating as well. But but I think the great thing here is that like we have very collinear visions. We want to achieve the same thing. We're both very passionate about nation building, and we're trying to find different means to build a nation, you know what I mean? So we think entrepreneurship, for example, is a very fantastic way to make an impact, you know what I mean? So we constantly motivating each other the whole way. So if it's getting tough, we rearrange each other's timetables, to do this assignment. Sometimes she even taps my assignment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, well.
Well, I understand now, Cornali, an audience question. Actually, there's a lady in blue, actually. Welcome to the blue family. Question.
Johnny? Question na ka ne batla e botsa from ausi o yetsa meriri ne between nako ya ha ya obala le nako ya ha ya etsa meriri, because I know re meriri o nka nako at times o tholo re client wa yetsa meriri ha so tjhetsa gore ke se ke qetile ke gutlela nthong tsa ka tsa sekolo wa gutla o tjhetsa gore ke I'm not happy ka ntho e ke ntseng yona o balance jwang ntshonyana tse jwang.
Yeah, ke botse ntle. Gentlemen, can you please pass on the mic gore at least Manthako akara?
That's a very good question. Prioritizing my time. So because you don't really have to I do it in my own time. This is when I'm tired, when I'm angry at whatever didn't work on campus. I get home and it's literally therapy. So I sit down, I make a wig. There has been times when a person has said, you know what, I'm not happy with this. And I'm like, you know what? And unfortunately, in my case, it was somebody who was in Cape Town. I'm in Johannesburg. And what I do is I let the client know that, you know what, I'll make you a new wig. Just please be patient with me. In 2-3 days, your wig will be done. So I try by all means to please my clients. And this is after hours of my schoolwork.
Alrighty then. Well, you know what? I think we should take more questions just when we come back from the ad break. Well, we're still here, more Daily Theta. We're going to be including our audience members more, of course, in as far as asking questions. More entrepreneurs, of course, joining us. From Papachong, we have more questions from our audience members. Let's shoot. Well, we're almost at the end of today, La Daily Theta, like the student hustlers. But before it's so go on social media. We are daily_Theta on Facebook and Twitter, then daily Theta_SABC1 on Instagram. Mara, studio. I understand una question for na. Go buchish.
Legay. Ke batla go botsa mme ka molo hore since o hola ntse o etsa this business o bala. Uno ibona ya hole business ya o no bona dithuto tsa hao dia hole.
Give microphone.
Yeah, ke ntse ke horile ke na le vision ya oba someone in life. So business ya ka startile out of passion or hobby, but nenze ke batla ho balance. So I tried to find a way to balance mmereko skolo le business. But a journey ya ka ya life ya ya tsamaya as most of the young people's journey. The the ups and downs, the hustles. I lost a mother at a younger age, ended up in the streets sometime, and those my entrepreneurial skills helped me in my ups and downs in life.
And to get you from when, Sis Pamela, you can take something at disadvantage, we should make sure you push it to do something that will benefit you. Thank you so much for that.
Sanibonani.
Thobela.
Igama lami nguThabo Thelejana. Bengisacela ukubuza ngale business yaseyikolweni ngoba the most kuma high school nakuma primary. The most mama siza mhlambe sizoyenza ibusiness esikoleni sizothengisa boma sweets boma in bayasithathela. So ngisacela ukubuza ukuthi ungaba kanjani lo ukuthi sikhona ukufinyelela sithengise esikolweni because the most ama business le business engiyenza esikolweni endlini basuka aba benefitini. Yeah, so mina ngisacela ukubuza ukuthi ukwenza kanjani.
Arishe microphone. Ke mang na in that business? Ke Thapelo ko no riksha ndibuka kere ko skolong a re fe Thapelo microphone. Thapelo re botsa how do you sort of maintain that, because as Pamela has once mentioned gore ile ba mo confiscator dilo tsa ga ko skolong ga rekisha, how do you survive on campus, business ailing on campus?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'd like to appreciate you for asking that question. It's important to have the communication between the governing bodies of where you're selling your sweets or your products. So one thing I do with me and my textbooks business is that I communicate with the SLC. Obviously, there's needy students who want textbooks at a lesser price. So in that case, one thing I do is I tell them in advance orientation week if there's any students from any course, and especially from the Auckland Park Bunsen campus who need textbooks, they should call me. So it's important to communicate with your governing bodies in terms of how they also benefit with your business going forward.
So ngam advise umuntu njengalo ukuthi abe nama business card so that awashare nasesikoleni so that even engasekho kube kuza ukuthi kube lula ukuthi bekwazi ukumthola ne.
Yes, that's very true, because one thing I do with my business is I have posters all around campuses and I get people calling me from Kingsway campuses and to have contact also from other campuses. So it's important that your business gets there to people. Sometimes people don't have to come to you, but it gets there to people because you don't have to walk around and tell people you're selling sweets. But by sticking those business cards around and posters and flyers, people know where to get you and how to find you. You need to be accessible.
I see.
But as well, I just want to pose this to our panelists as well, and you can also answer this for us. How important is introducing entrepreneurship as a subject, go to primary school, go to high school, so that we nurture the future entrepreneurs? Because I feel like it's a language we so much in the media, but our schooling system needs to also sort of support us. What do you think? Microphone, please.
I think it's very important. I used to sell sweets in high school, and I used to wash teachers' cars, teach people how to swim, all sorts of things. And from doing it at that early age came the confidence to, if you've got an idea to throw a picnic or an idea to start, it cultivates that culture within you. So I think it's very important that they teach it. I know go primary entrepreneurs fair, but you get to high school and it sort of dies down. But I think if more practical avenues of educating young people about it are introduced in high school, can breed that culture to make it easier for people to take that leap once they've matured into adulthood.
It's interesting, and it's also interesting. You saw, a niche market to sell a niche market to sell sweets, and you actually made something of it.
Student otherwise which I
it was actually embarrassing, but you have to. I mean, that's part of the sacrifices. You have to make those choices. To say, okay, it's a hang mara, hes chaya iso. So I'll take it for now, type situation,
And then Tumelo, just commentary on dabaya red tape. So many hustlers complain about red tape, says to me, you get there by experience, you get there by the financial statements. Financial statement, get like an idea. How do we then go around red tape as far as the financial institutions, so that at the end of the day we qualify for journalism funding?
So I think the most important thing to note is that a lot of people won't fund an idea.
Yeah.
It's important for you to start, actually make some traction, invest your own hard-earned money into a business before you expect someone else to take a risk on you. So a lot of people expect, to come up with an idea, approach funders, and then expect to be funded.
Yeah.
So the minute you start, the minute people notice that you've got a market and someone's actually willing to buy your product, that's when the funding institutions will come to you, and that's when they'll realize that the model works. So I think we tend to think that financial statements are everything, but actually in effect is that once you've got a business model that's operating and you're generating income, that stuff will always come. So there'll be financials in place.
Yeah.
But if the model works and funders believe in your business model and the growth and the scalability of your model, they'll definitely
winning
back
formula.
you. Yeah.
All right, let's just give the gentleman. You've been waiting for so long. Gentleman in red.
Yeah,
Well, let me put you-
Nginombuzo ngokegama ngomkhomseno kwamanyathi ngifuna ukubuza kini bosi sisi nobhuti because siyazi most of the time khona le into ekuthiwa don't mix business with pleasure ne ngazi ukuthi I relationship yenu ne business I survive kanjani because sometimes nokuthi nixabane mhlambe nixabaniswe into ethize then manifika nizosebenza nibukana kanjani and nisebenza kanjani ukuya phambili.
Briefly, please, guys, very briefly.
So I think it's separating spaces between the two. So there's a workspace where we do business, and there's a space for us. We have our own personal space. You know what I mean? I think if you're able to do that, draw that line,
then you've got a winning
you've
formula.
got a winning formula.
All right, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but thank you so much, Tamili Busi. Thank you so much to our guests. Thank you so much for coming through. Alrighty then, well, student hustlers are actually in the building. Iba motivated. You can actually also be a student hustler, right?
Nakanjani futhi ubonile abantu bethu basitshela akulula but into ebalekile ukuthi uqale kunakho konke.
Awona kamkhomonge yako social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Rebucha about your hustle. We're interested. Gore o dira jwang. Tipo bana ba bang man re fedi tricks of the trade so that le rena re kgona ho tshwana le wena. But we're going to see you same time, same place. Wana mo gae mo SABC 1 ke Daily Thetha. Nna ka lebiso ke Tumelo. Setlogolo sa mathomo sa ga Mothotoane.
Igama lami Kini Shandu, ngiyatholakala Facebook na ku Twitter as well @Kini Shandu. Siyabuya nakusasa nomreferi wohlelo kuzobe kunjena nje ngiyakutshela wena.
Bye bye.
It's all right.